Today we're speedrunning Spider-Man in a movie theater. See, recently Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was delayed by a whole year and my friends and I were pretty upset. So I decided to rent out an entire theater, invite all my friends, and only 5 of them showed up, plus my grandma. But the sad turnout aside, we set up my PS5 in the theater and I prepared to start my speedrun of Spider-Man the Heist. So turns out my friends were upset at me skipping the cutscenes in my speedrun of Spider-Man. And since they also showed up late, I only had an hour to get through the game before we got kicked out. So since I could no longer skip cutscenes, this was gonna be a bit more stressful. But anyways, the game starts out with us going to a museum to take out some goons, since those goons are trying to steal a painting. We pretty easily beat them up, mostly since we already have a bunch of gadgets at our disposal. The main things we'll be using are the Spider Drones and Spider Bro, which, yeah, they make fighting a lot easier. Then we need to search for anything strange about the museum. But unlike a regular movie, I know exactly where to go every time, so there's no need for those dumb searching scenes. And we find a hole in the glass, so we illegally enter. I'm Spider-Man, you can't stop me. Once in the museum, it's strange because all the guards are gone. So we need to enter their station by finding 3 different partial fingerprints and combining them, somehow. I mean, Spider-Man's a genius, so whatever. And here's where we see 2 passed out people that I don't really care about, because more importantly, we notice that one of the cameras is pointed at a painting, the Maria. So we go to check it out, only for more goons to come by and some more fighting to commence. But this fight is a little bit more interesting than the last. It starts out with just regular beating up people, but once the thieves realize they aren't going to win, they try taking random artwork and running away with it. So the best thing to do here is attack a person and leave a spider drone to get future people. This helps us beat this section a bit faster, since we won't need to swing around everywhere ourselves and can let robots deal with like half the guys. And that ends that pretty quickly. So Spider-Man goes back to look at the Maria, does whatever this is while waiting, and we finally see Black Cat. Yeah, I guess we're pretty happy about that. Now after Black Cat and Spider-Man flirt for a while, more villains come to ruin the romantic moment. Nothing special about this fight though, just more using robots to do the heavy lifting, and then after the battle we stare at Black Cat looking at the void as she waits for the cutscene to start. And who would have guessed? She wasn't actually after the Maria, but the USB stick that was in it for some reason. And she escaped since Spider-Man had to go save some random people's lives or something like that. But now it's time to get through some mandatory side missions, because what kind of Spider-Man game would it be without those? First one is taking our Spider Robot to break 4 bombs that were placed under cars and stuff. Not too much to explain here though, because it just takes a single button press to destroy them, so shout out to Spider-Man keeping this incredible tech all to himself instead of sharing it with the bomb experts. Then we need to meet up with an old detective who wants to solve one more case before he retires. Though while he's explaining it, I make sure to make him as uncomfortable as possible. But basically, he tells us that the current Black Cat isn't the original one, and this detective wants to find all the stolen art that the first Black Cat hid around the city. So we have to find the first painting and never look for any others ever again, since that seems like a lot of work. I don't care about this dude's retirement plan, I'll be honest. After that, we go to investigate a gang war and beat up some people pretty easily. Again, I'm not really doing the beating up because Spider-Man's gadgets are OP, and it's actually kind of funny how weak these guys are. We do learn that this wasn't actually a gang war though, and instead Black Cat was using the thugs to distract us. So we go after her trail, find her entering a building, and go after her, only to get completely played in the most embarrassing way. But this leads on to one of my favorite parts of the game. Like usual, we use the Spider Drones and Spider Bro and spawn camp all the goons that constantly come out of the building. I kind of feel like this is bullying these poor people. And that's also when this poor guy was getting possessed by a demon within the doorway, and I don't think he's gonna be living this one. But finally, after that, we can catch up to Black Cat, do some more flirting, and learn that the gangs we've been fighting are threatening to kill Black Cat's son if she doesn't help us, before she leaves again because she's afraid of small talk. This is also a bit awkward for Spider-Man now, because that could very much be his son, but we're gonna put that off for now and instead go after our last mandatory side mission, fighting Screwball. We take out Screwball's guys pretty easily, and then learn she wants to live stream us doing some tasks, otherwise people are gonna die. Which, by the way, Screwball has more subs than I do, and we really need to stop that, so subscribe if you enjoyed the content. But anyways, we're just gonna ignore our threats of killing people, since that doesn't really seem like my problem, and go right after Black Cat's trail again. And here's when this happens.
Wait! Oh. Kill him!
Yeah, you learn something new about your friends every day. But it's the same as always, fight some of these guys using our OP robots, and realize we're too late yet again to do anything of significance, but we're getting closer. Probably. Anyways, we're gonna swing to our next location and have a very awkward conversation with MJ about how we might be a dad. And after that, it's time to wait. At this point, we have 2.5 minutes of doing nothing. So to keep my viewers satisfied, I did Spider-Man's traditional dance. There were a lot of tough critics though.
Guys, look, Spider-Man saying hi to you.
Hi, Spider-Man.
I love you, Spider-Man.
He hates you.
Do something, Spider-Man.
Anyways, eventually we got into a cutscene and started chasing after Black Cat. This chase is pretty cool because she prevents us from using our web powers and then runs surprisingly slow away from us. So slow that we can literally touch her, but we still have to get through the scripted events like getting hit by 2 cars before finally getting the chance to web her again. But oops, I got Butterfingers, so she made it away another time. Now we're chasing after a subway train, and I can't imagine being one of the passengers in this train, especially as everything is collapsing behind them, but civilian casualties aren't real if I don't personally see them, so let's not worry about it. Then finally we can web her a few times, take her down, and get to flirt again. I mean, talk to her about saving her son. Yeah, that's right, MJ, don't worry. Which she finally agrees to work with us, but still refuses to say for a father. It happens. Which means we get another waiting section, because Spider-Man needs his pizza. At least during this one, I can terrorize the townspeople by pushing buckets off a rooftop. Dang it, we missed. But my crowd was definitely getting a bit restless.
I tell you what, I'm not really sure what's happening in here.
I also had some people trying to get away, but don't worry, I caught them. I always do.
Hey, get back here. Leave me alone. Get back here. He's not leaving.
No more AFK sections though. Probably. And we get to play as MJ. Here we're trying to get some information about the gangs, so we go around tasing people, taking pictures, and completely breaking their ankles. And after MJ gets away, for some reason she gets mad at Spider-Man for taking a pizza break, which I feel is kind of unfair, and we gotta get back to work. This time helping out Black Cat instead of fighting her, which you probably guessed it, it's time for robots to do all the work yet again. At the end though, I did somehow glitch into a building with one enemy left, which was a bit awkward, but luckily my robot saved me and we killed him, I think. I don't know, I was too distracted by another flirting scene. Oh, and also this.
What's your position on Spider-Man?
Spider-Man's my hero. I love him. I still love him.
I need to go deeper.
Anyways, we go to the last location, and it's finally time to save Black Cat's son, which we're actually doing pretty well on time. As long as I don't make any mistakes, we should easily finish this before getting kicked out, of course. Yeah, there goes the first mistake of the run, and if my audience wasn't trying to leave early before, they definitely were now, so I needed to finish this up quick. In this section, we need to defeat all the goons without getting spotted, but for some reason our robots don't count as us getting spotted, so the plan is to take out all the outside people manually and let our spider drones attack everyone else. Then once we beat all of them, Spider-Man stays behind to fight some more people, while Black Cat goes to look for her son, which leads into another fighting but not really fighting section. The drones really do be carrying me on their backs. But after taking everyone out, we go to find Black Cat and she locks us in a safe. Yep, turns out she was playing us this entire time and lied about having a son so she could steal the drives for herself. And because of this, we overhear some goons saying they're angry at her and rigged her penthouse to explode. Now we warn her about this only for her to say she doesn't care and is gonna go in her penthouse anyways. And finally, the speedrun ends at the start of the final cutscene. A woman just died and these people are cheering.